the stadium. His leg is still very active.
Was that it for warm-ups? No, that wasn't it. That doesn't count. We saw something, but it's...
We know Cam Newton's out there. Now we know Jake Bailey's out there.
Craig in Hoboken said the show took a turn earlier when Dussault started working blue.
Yeah, really.
But he said, I loved what Mike said last year about Cam. He makes a decision a beat late, then throws the ball twice as hard to make up for it. Have you still seen that this year in camp?
Well, it's hard in camp because he doesn't see it, and then he'll just kind of not throw it, or it's. You can only kind of do that in a game where you try to force stuff. I wish. I mean,
well, like the pick to Adrian Phillips on the goal line.
That's a good one,
right? The other day.
Not there.
Now
sack, pick. That was the reaction of the PU crew watching it.
There we go.
Sack, pick.
But as you know, and Mike, you often say this about me. I tend to look at things on the positive side.
Of course.
And when I looked at that play, I thought it was a terrific play by Adrian Phillips.
Right.
Cutting underneath Jonnu Smith.
But he would have been sacked.
Spee in Fresno checking in via email this time. Wow, your treatment of that poor innocent first-time caller George was
it really was terrible.
As it was hilarious.
It really was terrible that Hardy did that. Actually, it was Matt Morrell, not Hardy.
Hardy did it? What are you talking about?
I apologize. It was Matt Morrell.
Oh, my God.
It was Matt Morrell.
You feel shame?
The Marines.
They're
supposed to protect us.
They stand on a wall.
I want him on
and
that
they say
wall.
Nothing's going to hurt you tonight.
Not on my watch. No.
But I might hang up on you if your call gets
boring. But I might hurt you myself.
But bring something to the table if you call a talk show.
Bill in Bozeman says, it's been a good run, boys. Sorry about the cancellation coming for the girls' volleyball comments. Oh. I don't think Paul would be canceled.
Well, if anyone's getting canceled, it's you with bone growth.
That's not. You know exactly what I meant.
It's Cam Newton.
Cam Newton now on the field taking warm-ups as the Patriots get ready for what will hopefully be an on-time start of this
There's
game.
There's McCorkle,
number 10.
But as I am loath to check my radar again and let you know what I'm talking about, lest I be mocked again by Matt Morrell. So instead, we'll just keep everybody in the dark and keep your fingers crossed, and maybe the weather will miss us. All right. We'll step aside. You can keep watching warm-ups here, and we'll return. We'll do the over-unders here and put the bow on this Patriots pregame show, fueled by Duncan.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Join the conversation by calling the Ace Ticket hotline at 855-PATS-500 or email the show at webradio@patriots.com.
What does Russell Wilson say he is, Mr. Unlimited?
Yeah.
I'm going to be Mr. Unlimited Positivity today.
I like that. Live from our studios inside Gillette Stadium, here's Hardy.
All right, so let's what?
We're waiting for you to speak.
Okay, well, I was looking at the radar again, but
I'm looking at Cam Newton.
I didn't want to admit to that. You're looking at Cam.
It's Cam Newton.
There are fans here to see Cam.
You see a smattering of fans in the background.
Yeah. All right. So
what do you think for a crowd tonight, Hardy?
We talked about this earlier. I thought it was going to be close to full before the oppressive heat settled in. I thought, I got 40, 50,000 people in there tonight.
Oh, no, I think there'll be over 50,000.
Okay,
so the question is, it will be over 60.
Well, that's what I said too, and I didn't even think it was much of a conversation. And we bandied this about on the Sports Hub a couple of days ago. There is a faction that believes it's going to be something more closely related to what we saw in the open to the public practices that the Patriots have, which were very sparsely attended.
I'd be very surprised. I mean, you're talking 10,000.
No. I'm not saying in terms of numbers, but turnout. Like in years past, we saw 15,000 people there to watch a Patriots practice, and how many thousands were there for for the practices.
Oh, like we used to, the in-stadium practice would be like 20, 25,000.
No, I'm just talking about I'm like on the bleachers outside. Those
those are like 6,000 maybe.
Okay, but this year you mean?
No, this year we're talking about under 2.
Okay. So that's what people were thinking. It's like, no, what you're going to see in the preseason is going to be, maybe half of what you saw in preseason game pass. I'm like, no, wait, not for the first one. For the first one, people are just anxious to get back. They want to see football. There's going to be a ton of people out there tonight.
It's so hard. There's so many factors. I mean, external, internal, the team coming off a 7-9 season, not having just won a Super Bowl, and, the COVID thing. I mean, there's got to be people who aren't ready to jump right back into a stadium setting just yet. But there's also people who are certainly going to be excited to get back out there. I don't know how it's going to – I think that's what I'm most curious to see is, is it an overwhelming turnout, or are people saying, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to wait till the regular season and really get my money's worth, before I kind of jump back into this.
I wonder how much like and we saw Robert Kraft out there, I think with Josh McDaniels a moment ago, but you wonder with the one preseason game, if people say, well,
this is right. That's a good point.
I
Paulie.
only have to give up one. I'm not going to bother. I have 9 regular season games. I'm not really sacrificing that much money.
Right.
To just blow off one. And I also think the weather. I mean, the weather has to. I mean,
it's brutal.
And it's a Thursday night. A lot of people have to work tomorrow.
It's a hot, sticky night. I think that there'll be a decent crowd, but I'm not sure you're going to get a regular
I think up top you're going to see
62,000 or whatever.
The 300s. There's going to be some
because some of those preseason games. I mean, they're sold out. The game is sold out, but it's a matter of how many people show up. And I think normally you'd be over 60,000 even for a preseason game. I'm not sure they'll be that way tonight, but. I think Mike is right. I think Mike is always a little corny when he talks about this stuff. But in this regard, I think there's God bless you, Hardy. I think there's some relevance to it's been a long time since we've had it. And Jonathan Kraft spoke to the organization the other day, Hardy. I give you a little peek inside the window.
Oh yeah.
And he talked about that. It's January 4th of 2019 was the last time a crowd of this size.
2020.
2020, correct? Yes. The last time a crowd of this size congregated in this area, because obviously Fenway Park 35,000. There's going to be over 50,000 people here tonight, I would think, and that's a big deal.
It's a big responsibility. It's a big deal, and I think that
we haven't had that in a long time.
Yep. All right. Let's grab a couple more calls here, and then we'll do the over/unders. Ray in Atlanta. What's up, Ray?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey, Ray.
Good.
Hey, I just want to be quick and just say go Pats, and I'm glad that football is back. I don't care if it's preseason or regular season. I'm glad to watch something on the big screen, and, it's going to be exciting. They're going to play like it's the Super Bowl tonight. but it's going to be all exciting. I'm just glad to see football again, glad to hear you guys again, glad to see the scenery and hear all the sounds. So I'll take it. Go Pats.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
And we look past that sometimes, but ho-hum, they don't care who wins. Even during camp, and especially for this game tonight, there are multiple guys on both teams tonight who have been puking their guts out today with nerves over what is on the line for this game tonight. This is what players, have told me, and what Zoe said. He goes, oh, absolutely. There are guys losing their breakfast in the locker room before heading out to a training camp practice because of the pressure and the nerves involved with going out there and performing, where every single move is being watched.
Here's a guy, some of the fans might not be as familiar with number 17, Christian Wilkerson. He's a guy that Mike and I have watched a lot during the course of training camp. He's gotten a lot of reps with some of the high-level players. He's been out there with Cam Newton. He's been out there with Mac Jones. He's been targeted a lot. Hasn't always produced. He's had his moments. He's had some strong moments, had some drops as well. But the most important thing for him personally as a 4/5 receiver candidate is he spends some time individually with Matthew Slater, Justin Bethel, and those special teams guys. So he's trying to learn that as a way to maybe stick around. So he's a guy to watch tonight, number 17 in blue.
I thought his worst practice was the really wet one in full pads. That were a lot of drops, and that was right when people were starting to what?
He continues to wear blue, Hardy.
He's trying.
We're going down. He's taking us down
He's
with
trying
him.
to cancel.
What did I say?
Because you said wet one.
It's the really wet one.
You guys are really reading between lines.
It's him. It's all him.
But
all him.
Paul's right. He's been catching a lot of balls underneath, and I mean, not as much as Myers. I think Myers has been the most consistent one, but he's one of those guys who's got a great chance, and he's probably nervous right now. That's why he doesn't have his white shirt tucked in.
And a lot of the reporters are starting to indicate that all the pass catchers are out there, but no sign of Nelson Aguilar, as predicted by Mike Dussault and Paul Perillo.
All right, over-unders. Here we go.
It's time for this week's edition of Over-Unders.
You're over me? When were you under me?
So let's get something out of the way. Do these count toward the season totals?
No.
They will restart.
They will restart. Okay, so I'm not even going to bother writing these down, although I should, because like my beloved Detroit Lions, the only way I have a chance of winning this is like the Lions winning the preseason in 2008 before they went 0-16. All right, let's go ahead. Let's begin.
Cam Newton, number of series, 2.5.
Oh, I'm going over.
It's a great one. I'm going to go over, too. I'm hopeful that it's over.
Yeah. Paul?
What? I can't. What is it?
Cam Newton series.
2.5.
Series they will play 2.5.
I want to say the over.
We're all going over on that one.
Next, we got Mac Jones completions at 15.5.
I'll take the over on that.
I'm going under.
I'm going to go with Paul. I'm going to go over. I think he has a nice day.
Okay.
Well, I just think he's going to play a lot.
N'Keal Harry receptions, 3.5.
I'll take the over on that, too.
I'm going to take the under.
I'm taking under.
The fun one. Quinn Nordine, longest field goal, 45.5.
Over.
Over. Give me
Way
the over.
over.
I want the over.
Got pound the over.
Give him a chance.
I will take the under.
Idiot.
Paul already cheated for everybody on this one. Tyler Heineke passing touchdowns at 0.5.
Over.
John Keim says 2. Over.
I just want to see it, so I'm going to go over so I can root for it.
Evidently, his mom and stepdad made the trip, according to
Where did you get that information?
the Twitter machine.
How
Nikki,
convenient.
I forget.
Joe
I don't know.
Castiglione over here. What's his inseam?
I forget how to pronounce her
What's
name.
his shoe size?
But Nikki was the pool reporter at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and she now covers the Redskins. At the time, I think she covered the Broncos. Javala, something like that. So I've followed her on Twitter ever since.
Me too.
She's a Redskins. I'm sorry.
Where's the
football
Who
team
Cares Now?
beat writer.
Play music.
Cool. No. Cool story, Hansel.
Jesus,
There will be no sound bites.
And as we always do with the total, 36.5.
Oh, over.
I'm going to go under. I think it's a slow one.
I'll go over on that. That's a low number for any football game.
That's
7, 6.
I love how we all answer with disdain, like over,
Stupid.
under.
Anybody who says differently is an idiot. I really think that about you, Paul. You see that kid's leg at camp?
Yeah, it has
Nordine.
to. But I didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the question wasn't attempt, right?
Hit.
It was make.
He made some.
He did make some.
Some of them I couldn't even tell. They were so high over the goalpost, I couldn't even tell if they went in.
It's
Big
high.
leg.
Too high.
Big leg.
How can it be too high?
It's too hard and too high.
It's too high.
Who cares? It's
What
gone.
does that mean, too high?
All right. Wow, guys. This 2 hours flew
Really
by.
flew by. It's
I
amazing
can't-
how fast it goes when you don't break.
It's unbelievable. So thank you to everybody. Morel, LePan, Mike Dussault, Paul Perillo. It's Hardy here. And our fabulous sponsor, Duncan, once again. Back for another year on the the Patriots, what do you call it?
What
The
is
pregame
wrong
show.
with you?
Fueled by
Speak.
Duncan. You know what? I'll speak to you in the postgame show. How's that? And we
Okay.
will reconvene.
Okay.
And we will celebrate my victory in the over-unders in Game 1 of the preseason. Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll catch you after the game.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.